Hello cherry lovers. Today I'm going to do some pruning on my nectarine trees. They've now that we picked what fruit was on them, they need to be cut back for fall, because on a nectarine tree the flowers and the fruit come from the new branches. And I've got to open it up so the air can get through them and it'll look like a goblet shape, and that's what I've got to get taken care of today. I want to get them pruned back before winter. That way they're all ready to go, and you can prune them back right now and get them to where you need to. You could wait for the winter, but it's cold up here, and yeah, fall pruning for nectarines won't hurt. So I'm going to get started doing that. So here we go, and I'm going to kind of explain it to you as I go along, the best I know or what I do know. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is, I want this one here, but any inside branches that are coming inside, I'm going to prune them out, meaning that this one here, too much. Now, let me get my my little pruners for this. So I'm going to go in and prune in any inside branches, because that's not letting light in. I'm going to let these go out because I need them. This one here, just kind of like cherry trees, you're kind of just opening up the inside, and once you get the inside open up, then you'll realize what has to be taken off. This looks good. All this inside stuff has to be trimmed back, and like I said, I let it grow up like this, but because of the bad winter we had a couple years ago, and didn't know if these were going to work or not. So anyways, I'm going to go around and I'll just watch what I do and trim some of this stuff back. And that way there, I'm going to open this tree up. I pretty much got the goblet shape that I want, but at the same time, I got to trim this back and get it ready for next spring, because I do want this tree to be ready. So, and if I trim it back now, I can see this coming spring, I'll look at it again and see what else needs to go. But right now, I'm just going to start doing this, and you guys can watch me as I go along, because talking and working, I do a lot better with just doing this. So I'm going to let you guys watch and see if, and when I get done, I'll explain it to you. You only see one that's got to come out, a nice big one in the center here, and then that'll open it up. I'm going to trim off the top a little bit, and for the most part, that one will be ready to go. But there's a couple inside ones, like this one right here. It has to go. That was an outside. See how I'm opening it up? That's what you want with a nectarine tree. You want an open spot, and it's kind of like a goblet type shape. That way there, all this next year, new branches will come out. That's where the new fruit is. So all these young shoots will produce new fruit and bigger fruit. So I got a few off these this year. It's time for me to do this. So that's what I'm doing. I think I got one more that I'm going to do, and then I'm going to leave it. Besides trimming up the top ones. So I don't want to do it, never do, but it has to take. If you're going to have good fruit, you have to be a good steward. There it is. There's my tree. That's what you want to see. Now I'm just going to trim the tops a little bit, and next year when it branches out even more, you're going to have fruit hanging out all the way around. Easy picking, good big juicy fruit. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to go on to the next one. Well, let me finish trimming up this one for you guys. Then I'm going to just go ahead and trim each one of these up and let you guys watch what I do. And then you guys got an idea of how to prune. Doesn't matter if you do it in the fall, in the winter, or the spring. You'll have an idea what you're doing. Always find a branch that's going out so it keeps growing out that way. That's always a must. Because that way there, it just keeps growing out like you want it to. And then when a tree gets way out and around here, what do you have? You have a wonderful tree. This tree looks like it's ready to go. That tree is ready to roll. So let me go on to the next ones. I'm going to do a little more cleaning up, just very little cleaning up, and we're going to go on to other things. Looks good. That's what I say. Okay, we're going to do tree number 2 here. Let me see what I want to do. On this one here, well, on this one here, they got a lot of stake there in the straight. So I might have to, and you can do this, tie these up like this and stake them down. I think I'm going to do that, and that way there, it starts giving me my goblet look. These trees, if I bend them down and train them to stay that way, these trees will be doing okay for next year, which will be work perfect. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. Train them like that, and then we'll go on. And as you guys can see, that gives you a goblet look. Probably after next year, like I said, if I tie these back, tie these back like that, see how it's open? Everything will look really nice for next year. That's what I'm going to do. I'll tie them to the ground, stake them down, and your branches will take, and then they'll eventually stay that way. And then you got a good looking tree. But right now that looks really good for next year. These 2 trees, for the most part, these 2 trees are ready. Look at them. They're open, and now we're going to go on to these down here. You might not see me all the time inside here, but I want you guys to get closer to see, because this is the one that came back, and I've got to do some serious thought on this one, because Yeah. Let me get my loppers. Believe it or not, that one here has to go. That one here, let me get in there, has to go. Anything down here below, I want them low enough to the ground, but at the same time, I want them to, so that when I get it in, okay. Looks like I'm murdering it, but I'm not. Up in the air, no. Inside, no. Dead, yes. Okay. This one, absolutely not. That one, absolutely not. Because this is a first year tree, and what I'm doing, I have to, next year, when you look at these trees, you'll notice that they're a whole lot different. And I also want them to thicken up. So, take it off there. Outgoing branch. That's going out, that's going out. These are inside, no. They're gonna fight with each other. That's gotta come off. And then all the rest of it has to come off. Okay. It looks like I butchered this one, but as you can see, the same shape, and that I want, because as these trees, these branches keep growing and going out, they're going to keep doing this, and this is what you want. You want it to look like that, on a goblet type look, and there's where your fruit is. You want to make sure that your fruit is out hanging. The branches will get sturdy. You'll have trees that'll be out like this. All your fruit is going to be out here. Always remember, always, and I've learned this, always remember, your fruit is always on a nectarine or peaches or on new growth. So you constantly got to be pruning. These are got to be pruned every year and try to get all the new growth for next year, because all this is going to have flowers on it and you're going to produce fruit. So you want to get them out in the open. You want it open to the air, and they breathe, and this is what I'm doing, trying to get them. So next year, like I said, this tree ought to be clear out here. All these trees will be way out, growing like crazy with fruit on it. So that's what I'm trying to do, folks. Now this one here has a goblet shape. I just have to prune it. I have to prune it open, but it's got already got the forks out. I've already done this after about 2 years now on this one and the other one. So it's really taking shape. But there's a lot of things that's got to happen that I don't want to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to do it right off, get the loppers, and like I said before, new growth. See this in here? It's got new growth on it, but it's in the middle. And you think, well, I'm going to leave it and let this all go out. No, I got to open this thing up. I got to open this up. So unfortunately, and the way things are looking, I'm going to take, for this year, I'm going to take that out, okay? Because you can see once I get done pruning, it'll be open again. This one here has new growth on it, and it'll eventually, this branch will grow and keep doing this, all right? Growing out. That's what this other one that I just cut off was trying to go straight up. I don't want that. So that had to come out of there, as bad as I didn't want to. you go. That's what I want right there. If you look at that tree is open and it's out. These fruit, everything's going to go heavy when it starts producing fruit. Makes for an open branch, open everything. That's ready to go. Even though, let me show you down here. People, when you look at it, and for me too, when I first started, a tree that looks like this to you looks like, oh man, that's not right. But if you look at that tree down there, it looks like, wow, that's a nice tree. But it won't produce fruit. It'll produce little fruit and maybe disease. So if you look at the difference, yeah. But next year, when I show you these trees and they've put new branches and everything on, you're going to go, wow. And I'll have to trim them back again. But let's go down here to the last one. And then I got the chore of cleaning up all the branches. Always clean up your floor the best you can. So here we go. Okay folks, there you have it. There's my 4 trees that got a haircut. And like I said, this is what, I mean, I could stand back here and fiddle all day long with it and come up with ways to make this work. But you're never perfect, okay? Remember that when you're trimming them, don't think, oh man, I didn't do it right. It's never anything right. As long as you get it looking like that goblet look, like you're seeing right here. Inward air moving around, fruit will be out here. New growth will be, they'll come down like this next summer. You'll have fruit hanging like this, beautiful fruit, because you trimmed it back and that wasn't scared to. And like I said, I was for years, last few years, anything that came up, I was afraid to trim my fruit trees. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. They'll grow. As long as there's good a root base, they'll grow. And right now, that tree right there will produce a lot of fruit next year. Just because you opened it up and let these branches grow out here, and the more you get them out here, pretty soon I'll have a tree that's clear out around here. They'll just drape out. They'll be perfect nectarine trees. That's what I want. This is the start of perfect trees. If you don't do your trees like this, just let them grow to a ball and everything, you'll get poor fruit, always susceptible to diseases, and you'll always be wondering, how come I'm not getting fruit? This right here, that'll do it right here. And also, these trees right here are self-fertile. So if you open it up to the air, not only to the bees and all the insects that pollinate, but the wind itself will blow through it and help pollinate it. If it's all balled up like that, the air can't get through, can't pollinate itself. That's why it's self-fertile, because a self-fertile tree needs that to pollinate. It doesn't always need bees or anything. So this is what I've learned, and all the studying I've learned over the years, and this is what I've come up with. This is what works. So like I said, this stuff is working. Probably next spring you'll see me doing apple trees out here, because the apple trees have done tremendously this year. I mean, I can't believe how everything's come on. I've got little ones yet that I got to graft, but that's next spring. I'm going to be grafting those. And I'm thinking about purchasing some more cherry trees in the open field by the high tunnel and give them a fighting chance. I got a lot of little ones and I'm going to leave them, but I also want to put some more. I want more trees. I want more trees. More trees, I'm happy. So if you guys like this informational video, please like and subscribe, and come back and watch us. I do have informational ones. Like I said, our channel is all about having fun, growing vegetables, growing fruit. You see us going on vacations. We like doing all that. We love bringing you guys along. So if you guys like this video, like and subscribe, come along, and be safe out there, and we'll see you next time.